So Fantastic Four came out. Look, it's a pretty rough film, but I'm not here to beat a 4 times dead horse. I'm here to talk about all the Easter eggs and references we got that link to the comics and the characters and other films and potential future villains that we won't see, because let's face it, they're probably not going to make another one of these. And whatever else. So before we get into it, bear in mind that there will be spoilers for this film. Not that there's much to spoil. Doom is in it for like 4 minutes before he's shoved into a cosmic bug zapper or something. I don't know, I don't remember. Someone remind me below. Nah, I don't care. Starting off on the topic of Doom. Now, we don't get his villainous persona specifically mentioned, other than Sue Storm making the offhand comment, "Look at Dr. Doom over here." We do, though, hear that his full name is Victor Von Doom, not Victor Domachev, as it was initially planned to be in this version. Tim Blake Nelson's character, Dr. Harvey Allen, is probably a nod to Dr. Harvey Alder, better known as Mole Man, one of the Fantastic Four's villains. Though his head did explode towards the end of the movie, making it twice now that Tim Blake Nelson won't play the Marvel villain that he was potentially being set up to be. Johnny Storm has a Mario Brothers fire flower in his car, a nod to the powers that he receives, and he even says his iconic catchphrase, "Flame on." The Thing's catchphrase is said twice. Once by Ben Grimm's brother, Daniel Grimm, who's the leader of a street gang in the comics, and also by the Thing himself when he's battling Dr. Doom. Reed Richards' catchphrase, "I'm bloody stretching, mate," is weirdly not used. Probably because that's not really a thing. I just made that up. At one point, Kid Ben Grimm tells Kid Reed Richards that he's insane, possibly a nod to the various incarnations of Reed Richards that went insane, including the Ultimate version, the version known as Dark Raider, who's Reed Richards from a different dimension, and also, I guess, the regular version of Reed Richards, who's not a great bloke either. And look, I think we can all agree that the best version of Reed Richards is the animal version, Weed Whiskers, also known as Mr. Furtastic. Not a joke, not a joke, this is a real thing. Franklin Storm is also a character from the comics. And down the line, Sue Storm and Reed Richards have a child who they end up calling Franklin. Now, much of the lore in this movie is based off the Ultimate comics and not the original version, including how the team is younger than they've traditionally been, how Reed Richards is working on interdimensional travel with Ben Grimm in his garage as a student. They also compete in a science fair where he transports a toy car. It's a plane in the movie, but he does do that earlier. And he has a sports-mad stepdad. Though in the Ultimate version, he's his actual father, who's a guy by the name of Gary. Gary being the most dad's dad name that there is. The Ultimate version of Dr. Doom also doesn't wear a suit like the original version, but had his skin changed to metal, which is sort of like what they did here. Sort of. Not really. A few locations shown or mentioned do show up from the comics. Latveria is hinted at, Victor Von Doom's fictional home country. The Baxter Building is shown, which is home to the Fantastic Four. Central City, the name of the facility that they end up in, was the name of the original city that they lived in, and where they left from before they were blasted with the cosmic radiation that gave them their powers. In the film version, their powers come from a different dimension, which is also something that happens in the Ultimate version. And here that place is called Planet Zero, which sort of acts as the movie version of the Negative Zone. The Negative Zone is used by Richards to imprison Captain America's teammates in the Civil War storyline. Moving along, Reed Richards' teacher makes fun of him for attempting to build a flying car, something that he actually ends up doing in the comics. That guy, by the way, that's the voice of Homer Simpson. The body horror parts of the film take inspiration from 80s classics like The Fly. It looks like this movie borrowed a CGI chimp from the new Planet of the Apes series, which makes sense considering both of these things are at the same studio. And the F in the 20th Century Fox logo at the beginning of the film is highlighted, the same way that the X is in the X-Men films. Also, don't expect the X-Men and Fantastic Four movies to cross over anytime soon. Producer and writer Simon Kinberg clarified that they take place in different universes. Slap in the face, new Fantastic Four. Also, there is a deleted scene from one of the last Fantastic Four movies that indicates that those films are in the X-Men universe. We also have a blue light shooting up into the sky, like most movies. In fact, could this be the last blue light into the sky thing that we see? That should be retired, along with the bram that Inception started. Hey, stop it. Now, there was no Stan Lee cameo, despite Stan Lee being the creator of the Fantastic Four, but Johnny Storm does call off-screen to a Stan at one point during the film. Now, one of you might be able to help me out with this. There's a 309 written on the side of the car in the Grimm's junkyard that Kid Reed Richards is hiding in. It might mean something, maybe issue 309 of the Fantastic Four, but there's nothing significant in that, or at least nothing significant on the cover. I didn't read it. Thanks everyone, that'll do it. Now if you liked this, I've done a bunch of Easter egg videos, including my last one, which was for Ant-Man. Also, I thought maybe this video might interest you on things you may have missed from the Deadpool trailer. Also, I have a podcast called The Weekly Planet that looks at movies and TV shows and comics. I'll link all of those things below and at the end of this video. But what was your favorite Fantastic Four Easter egg? Also, as always, if I've missed something, please feel free to leave that in the comments. Alright, thanks everyone. Take care.